I was always quite grounded and realistic. My mum made sure of that, and so I understood that just because you want to be a professional footballer, and you have dreams of being a professional footballer, not everybody can be a professional footballer. So I was kind of realistic, and growing up, even at such an early age, 15, 16, a lot of my friends were going on trials to various teams in England, and I was fortunate to go on a couple myself as well. But until something was concrete in terms of a contract, I kind of was realistic and kind of stayed focused on, as boring as it sounds, education. It was definitely my dad's dream for me to be a professional footballer, as I'm sure every parent's want their kids to grow up and become a professional sportsman or musician or whatever it is in their chosen talent. Yeah, I got a trial for Arsenal. And what a team to go on trial. That was my first trial to Arsenal for 4 weeks. And it was over there that I just excelled and played really, really well. And I think at the end of the 4 weeks, Arsenal offered me a contract. It blew my mind. I knew I had some kind of talent, but I did not realise that I might have been good enough to gain a contract at 16 with Arsenal. So I think it was then that I realised, well, hold on, if Arsenal want me to sign, I must be halfway decent. I turned that contract down. Don't ask me why, but I turned it down because I had 1 year left in college to finish my leaving cert. So that's why I turned it down. But look, I got another chance the following year to go over to Leicester City. But that was the turning point. That was kind of when my mind, was set that maybe I am good enough. I started playing football for Grey Wanderers. I started enjoying myself again. I played with a lot of my friends that I grew up playing with as a teenager, and for a year or so, I kind of just forgot about going over to England, and I said, I just want to enjoy it again, and I really did enjoy it. I loved my time there, and I think a year later, I might have came back from England at 18, and then at 19 years of age, I got my first call up to the Irish under-20s with Brian Kerr to an under-20 World Youth Cup. I made the Irish under-21s, and I think again it was then when I said, maybe I am good enough to get another chance. So I did. I had hopes and dreams of getting another chance. It just didn't work out that way. I was playing decent football. I was scoring a lot of goals. A lot of guys my age, Kevin Doyle, Stephen Ward, similar positions went over and done really well, but I just never really got that second opportunity.
And what was the decision making behind turning your back on a sustained, stable, strong career in Ireland to decide to go all over the world? Where did that come from?
It's a strange one, honestly. Growing up, right, I live in Ballantyre, right? It's the foot of the Dublin Mountains, and I used to one of the things I used to do to keep fit as a young kid, just do some extra work, was kind of jog up to the top of the hill of Ballantyre, which was the very footsteps of the Dublin Mountain, and you can see all of Dublin, spread out, beautiful view. And I remember, growing up many times, just kind of looking out on Dublin, going, you know what? I mean, I love Dublin, I love its home, but there has to be more to this. There has to be more in the world, more to see. I grew up. My father was, a Tunisian, Libyan background, so there's always some kind of culture within the family, different culture, and I was always fascinated with culture. So, honestly, I just wanted to travel and see the world, and I mean, I love playing football, so it just made sense to me. If I can travel and get paid for it and see the world and experience the things that I want to experience, I think I'm onto a winner. And that's really honestly what my motivation was, to travel and get out of Ireland.
The Iran move to such an absolutely massive club. Were you prepared for the reaction you got, the environment you were going into when you went there to Persepolis?
Oh, absolutely not. No. Do you know what? Nothing can compare you to something like that. I mean, Iran is a fascinating country. It really is. And it's one of those things that you can read about it on the internet or watch the news or whatever, but you'll never get a true perception unless you're there. or you talk to people that have been there and have lived there. And when I went over there, I did not know what to expect. I had I hadn't got a clue in terms of anything, in terms of, obviously the football first and foremost, but then just the way of life and the culture and a country at all. And it blew my mind, from flying over there and seeing the love for the football team that I played for, Persepolis. The fans were, I mean, we're talking a country of 75 million people, and who are absolutely dedicated to the football. I mean, they're obsessed with football because in Iran they don't have too much else to entertain themselves. They don't have bars and nightclubs or anything like that. And football is the biggest sport, so they literally live and die by their football. And so the team I played for, you were supported by millions and millions of people. And over there, their football stars are the main celebrities, within that country. They're bigger than the musicians, and they're bigger than the actors and actresses. I mean, most of my traveling that I've done has just been to try to travel and experience new cultures. And the football world is very different. Whether you play in Africa or Europe or Asia or the Middle East, it's interesting to see how they approach football. America was always on the radar in terms of somewhere I'd like to travel to. I had been offered, when I was younger, I was offered a scholarship to get an education in a college in Boston. And at that age, it was 17, 18, I just wanted to be a professional footballer in England. So that wasn't really on my radar. And then I think mid-20s, I was offered a contract to go over to San Antonio in Texas. And again, I just didn't feel soccer was, as they call it over here, was really, that the level, the standard wasn't where I wanted it to be. So yeah, just right time. 2016, I got the offer to come over to Indiana. I thought about everything. I thought about where I was in life, and what I wanted to do before I possibly finish up playing. Also, I thought about the opportunities in terms of life after football, and honestly, it just ticked every single box. And it's been a fantastic decision. I really have enjoyed it, and I've loved it.
I wish you the very, very best of luck. Do you have any
Cheers,
words any tips or any advice you have for people out there who'd love to have lived the life you've lived so far by the time they turn 36 years of age? What words of wisdom would that be?
Travel. I mean, for me, one of the best things you can do in life is travel, and we're fortunate enough to be able to do that. And a lot of people will choose to. I think Irish people in general are homebirds, and there's nothing wrong with that. I love home. And they enjoy escaping to Portugal or Spain in the summer. But I mean, just so much out there. And especially, young soccer players and soccer, just some great talent in Ireland at all ages. And there's a lot of guys in the League of Ireland, mid-20s, early 20s, and they just focus on England. It's just, this mentality, I want to get to England, I want to get to England, I want to get to England. And I don't think they realise that. I mean, football is played all over the world.